Hi guys, Chester Westerford here. So, over the last week since Flux ended, I have finally had the time to get caught up with the new Galaxy 4 animation, as well as the new episode 3 of The Web of Fear. So, first Galaxy 4. I'm not going to say too much about the story, but I do want to say that generally this is a story that I've always enjoyed for the most part. First time I had experience with it was through the audio with the linking narration, and then the truncated reconstruction on the Aztec Special Edition DVD. Lots of people don't seem to like this story. I don't know why. I mean, it's admittedly not one of the greats, but I think it's enjoyable enough. Now, onto the animation. So, I have to admit, the character designs do seem off. I know Big Finish Creative have said that they're trying to go with a certain style based on shows they like, but to me, it just doesn't fit Doctor Who. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's very similar to the style used in Fury of the Deep, where the designs didn't bother me. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't fit into the Hartnell era somehow. I don't know. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not objectively bad. They did a great job with what they were trying to do. The character designs just aren't my cup of tea. The proportions are off, and I don't know. They just don't look that much like the characters to me. I don't know. But beyond that, I watched the story in black and white with the surviving episode. Um, I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing in color, but I did watch a bit of it, and I must say the colors really are excellent. The creators said they were inspired to copy the colors of like 1960s TV and in particular sci-fi shows such as the original Star Trek, and I think they succeeded with that for the most part. The colors remind me of the Cushing films a little. And while there isn't a huge range of colors, the different colors are so vibrant and varied that it sort of gives a sense of being more colorful than it is. So yeah, the colors work really well for the most part. The only time I'm not sure if it works entirely is in the Rills camp. The whole design of that place is just so bare. If it was a more interesting color, I think it would do a lot better. And maybe if the walls were a bit shorter or something, I don't know, just there's not a lot of depth to it. The yellowish tan they use as the main color for the walls there is, I think, a bit too similar to the skin tone, so it doesn't pop as much as the burnt orange sky or the colors in the Draven ship. But yeah, overall, with this story, I usually like the black and white ones, but I think I recommend the color version. Like I say, I haven't seen the whole thing in color yet, but I definitely plan to in the future. I think in future viewings of this story, I may mostly choose to watch it in black and white, just because it looks so good. But now onto the animation. It's done well enough for the most part as these animations go, but it's not the best. But then again, maybe not the worst either. Definitely not one of my favorite animation jobs. Something I've noticed with a lot of these animations is they tried both not enough and also a little too hard with the movement. Doesn't feel quite natural, and I think a lot of that has to do with the arm and hand movements. Sometimes it feels like they think every bit of dialogue has to be matched with a hand movement. And yes, people do talk with their hands in real life, but not nearly as much as they do here. If I put my hand up like this all the time while I was talking, do you think that would look real? I don't think it would look real. I mean, if you look at people in real life or in pretty much any movie, they don't constantly put their hands up when they say one piece of dialogue. Now, I would never call myself an expert or really good, just an amateur, but I have done some acting, I've had some experience, and I've had people teach me some things. And something that I was taught is not to use arm movements unless it helps the story or the character or there's a basically a good reason for it. Even in more big budget cartoons, it's not constantly happening because sometimes it's more realistic to not have someone move, to just stand there and talk to somebody with maybe body language instead of hand movements. Like, the doctor doesn't have to take his hand off the cane every time it speaks. It's not needed, and it just makes it look more fake. I know they're trying to make it look more real with that, but it makes it look more fake. I imagine it would be a lot easier to not animate it as well. Sometimes simpler really is better. Yeah, other than that, I think the animation is decent. It's not Disney or Warner Brothers level of animation, but you can't expect DC Animated Universe or Disney Princess movie level quality on this budget. Really don't have much more to say about it. They talk when they're supposed to, and most of the movement looks natural enough, except for those arm movements I was talking about. Overall, yeah, this is a really good release, and I definitely recommend it, especially the color version. I mean, I'd recommend all the animations. I think it's great that we're getting these, and I can't wait for the next one. And now we go back in time a bit, as I also finally just got a hold of the new Web of Fear animation. Having seen the promo clip they released back before it was released, I wasn't really sure I was going to like this, as it seemed a bit weird, but I have to say, as soon as I started watching the animated episode, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a lot better than I expected it would be. It's still not terrific, and I think it could use some work, but I think it's on the right track. If they practice with this style on it, improve upon it, I think it could end up being a really good way to go for maybe not every release, but maybe more of them like this, which have only like one or two episodes missing. Are there any more of those? Yeah, maybe if they work for, say, Underwater Menace. Well, I suppose it would be difficult to do motion capture for that one with all the mer people swimming around. Crusade, maybe? Yeah, like I say, though, it could be great with a bit more practice. Honestly, kind of felt like a test run or like a storyboard or pre-visualization for a better animation that they didn't get to do. Yeah, I like what they were trying to do. They just need a little more practice. Maybe work on the character designs a little bit more, or oh, and this one kind of has that same problem with the arm and hand animations I was talking about with Galaxy 4. Maybe a bit more realistic if they didn't have quite so much of that. Yeah, something else I haven't heard talked about is how the existing episodes look on Blu-ray. I think they were remastered especially for this release, weren't they? And I think they look really good. I mean, I think everyone's been kind of curious to see what the black and white stories would look like on Blu ray when we finally got it. And yeah, here's our answer. I think it looks really good. Obviously, they're not all going to look that good. The existing episode of Galaxy 4 didn't look quite this good, but quality is going to vary. But, if we have more of this quality or better quality, I think we're in for a treat with all these 60s collection sets. Yeah, that's all I have for today. What do you guys think of these releases? Were they good, bad, or did you just skip them entirely? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or Happy Holidays if you celebrate something else. See you later. Bye.